something happens and we're really excited about it, we want to live stream it. We want to be there as close to the pulse as possible.
So what are we excited about, Ben?
We're excited. Matt, you and I and Huber and Brad and Blood and Kyle, every so often, usually initiated by Huber, we'll hear, when is Dragon Quest XI happening? When is it happening? And then we'll send tweets to Square Enix just saying when, with no context. But it did. It finally happened. Dragon Quest XI happened in a big way last night, 1 a.m. The official Square Enix Japan account was streaming on YouTube and Nico. And we all stayed up to watch it.
Yep.
And boy, was it worth our time.
No regrets.
No regrets. They showed it off in a big way. And we're going to get into those details as soon as Kyle Bossman gives us the green light.
You ready to go?
I'm ready to go.
Start the trailer. Also, I realize I can give you chat. So here's chat.
Chat.
Mr. Director.
Brief. Cool. So let's try it. Let's go
I'm
into
looking
it.
in this weird.
All right.
Mirror.
Hold on.
Here it is. Oh my
Here it
gosh.
is.
Android 17.
Android 17 in the flesh.
There he is, baby.
Oh, man.
So good.
Yeah, I heard the lady see something about pretty, and then I was like, does she mean the game is pretty or the boy is pretty? I don't know.
Yes.
Look at that leather.
So
You're right. The shiny leather. Yeah.
the translated title, the subtitle for this is Dragon Quest XI In Search of the Departed Time, which is kind of clunky. If it gets localized, maybe it will change.
Yeah, I'm sure that will change.
So one of the biggest deals for this is coming out on multiple platforms,
Yes.
presumably simultaneously, or they said simultaneously. So it's coming out for PS4 and 3DS and the NX.
Surprising. The
Yeah.
first NX game we've heard about, really.
It is not 100% confirmed coming out on the NX, but it is their intent to
It is
release
not
it
confirmed
on the
because they
NX.
cannot
I
say
think they
it.
did the same kind of thing with Dragon Quest X though, where they're like, it's might come out on other thing.
Yeah.
And
Look at this!
The natural question is, are these going to be the exact same games on all the platforms? And the 3DS version, and then presumably the NX and the PS4 version, the example that I keep hearing is it's going to be treated like Ni no Kuni, where it is the same story, but they're two different games.
Great.
Both games are scheduled to come out in 2016. Do you know what's in 2016?
I
Hopefully
do.
they some
I
amazing
do.
Stuff. It's the 30th anniversary of Dragon Quest,
Yes.
so we're going to get a brand new Dragon Quest game.
This game is coming out next year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No
Supposedly.
way.
Yeah.
Well,
at it. I mean,
to clarify, they said
streets are
fiscal
barren.
year 2016,
Okay.
which is anywhere from April 2016 to, I believe, March 2017.
Okay.
So it could
Gotcha.
slip into 2017.
Sneaky there.
Yeah. I want to say, and I want to gauge your feelings on this. Yuji Horii has said repeatedly that Dragon Quest XI, from everything that we've seen and everything that we've heard, is going to be a single-player offline Dragon Quest game, which we have not gotten in North America since 2005. Dragon Quest VIII, 10 years ago.
Music to my ears.
JRPGs are back, you guys, in a big way.
Yes.
And just watching him walk around this town,
Gorgeous.
it evokes those feelings of Dragon Quest VIII, that warmness, that
Just
sense
look at the
of
scale of it,
being
though.
lived in.
Look
Yeah,
at the scale of it. I mean,
absolutely.
I'm a purist, so like I always call it Dragon Warrior because I think I'm being funny. I'm not, but
Yeah.
when I look at this,
Yeah.
you're this like you look like such a tiny person in such a huge world here, and I know that 10 is quite a lot similar to it, but this it feels entirely new, but still kind of capturing the spirit of
Yeah.
Dragon Quest as it's been.
You know what's funny though is what was that tech demo that they had? Remember that PS4 tech demo with the sorceress and stuff? It was like really Final Fantasy looking.
Yes,
Doesn't
Yeah,
this environment, like with the houses on the walls, sort of remind you of that a little bit?
definitely.
And all the cloth and everything?
Yeah, it does. That's an interesting point. And that was something that I wanted to talk about is this
Agnes philosophy?
Agnes
Yeah.
philosophy. Yep.
Yeah.
Thank you, Kyle Bossman. This town tells a story, right? It's not just a normal medieval Dragon Quest-y looking town. I mean, it has elements of that, but why are these houses? Where are these houses being held up by like plank balconies? Why is there a bonfire in the middle of the middle of the roadway? Like, what's going on here?
We will get context.
Yeah.
On all this.
And just look how detailed it all is. So much is going on.
I want to bring up something to the I think's kind of new or newer to the series is there's actually a jump button. They showed
Yes.
you jump, and it looks like you can walk off or jump off some obstacles. I don't remember you doing that in the older ones at all. Could you?
I don't remember.
I
Yeah,
think you could to a degree. I don't.
I know
remember
in
in,
You
Dragon Quest
cannot.
X you can jump.
Okay,
So
Right.
never got to play it. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Thank you, Square
Exactly.
Enix.
I want to do another Dragon Quest X stream. Okay, so a few more details. The PS4
Boom.
version is being developed with the assistance of Orca.
Okay.
And you might wonder who Orca is. So the guy, the sort of lead guy of Orca, he worked on Nier and he worked on Drakengard, and Orca also helped with Dragon Quest X.
Okay.
Which Dragon Guard?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
I just said Drakengard, so I'm not. I don't know which Drakengard. It's a good question though.
Look
Yeah!
at it, look at
Holy
it.
cow!
Oh, now we're outside the city.
That lighting!
The water.
Oh my goodness.
It's magical.
Here it comes. He's gonna walk through this apart too.
For a long time in this office, Unreal Engine 3 was kind of an inside joke that we had,
Yeah.
especially with Michael Damiani, because a lot of Japanese developers did not use their games looked like crap in Unreal Engine 3.
Waterfall.
Yeah.
Waterfall.
Dragon Quest XI is being
Stunning.
developed with Unreal Engine 4, and
Mhm.
we've sort of seen an embrace from Japanese developers not using these crazy proprietary
They're
engines.
wasting too much
And-
time and
yeah,
money.
they're
Time
wasting
and
too much
money, yeah.
This Kingdom Hearts 3,
Yep.
I believe, is Star Ocean 5 as well. I could be totally wrong. on
I'm
that.
not sure about
I'm
that.
not sure on that.
Rumor has it. We started it here.
The 3DS version is being developed with the assistance of Toy Logic.
Okay.
Now, the only thing that I in my very brief research that I saw Toy Logic worked on is they assisted Sora with Kid Icarus Uprising.
Oh, really?
So
Interesting.
they, both people that are assisting have quite a pedigree to them. One of the things that I'm most interested about, and I'm assuming will spark the most discussion, is actually the 3DS version. Because the 3DS version is doing something crazy that no JRPG has done before. On the top screen, it will play like 3D Dragon Quest games, a la
let me
Dragon
pull
Quest
that up.
8. Yeah, give
Please,
Kyle a
please,
second
Kyle.
to pull that up.
That segue.
Yeah, they're doing the game twice. It's kind of
Yeah. And on the bottom screen, they're doing a sprite-based classic 2D Dragon
Matt Blair
Quest.
losing
And
it.
these
Oh,
games,
I loved it.
these games happen simultaneously.
Mhm.
So when one moves on the top screen, that's the same character moves on the bottom screen.
Yeah.
This goes even further. When you get into battles, if you're moving with the analog stick on the 3DS, the analog nub, I suppose, you get into 3D battles. If you use the D-pad, you get into 2D sprite-based battles.
That is so crazy.
It is so
That's so
crazy.
cool.
Presumably, there will be an incentive for doing one or the other, and
Uh-huh.
hopefully it will be contextualized in the story. Brad, Matt, Kyle,
Contextualized in the story.
Blood. Yeah, because as Kyle mentioned, time is in the subtitle,
Mm-hmm.
so maybe there's something with time travel or an amulet or whatever that makes it so
Amulet.
this makes sense.
Oh, even
By the
when
way-
you talk to somebody, it appears on one screen or the other, huh?
Yeah.
Somebody's going to have to help me with this claim, but I feel it's worth saying. Black Soldier says that Fire Emblem kind of did that before. Is that true?
Sort of. You would have, yes. So you would have the map. You would have 2D sprite-based stuff.
Sure.
And then when you actually got into a fight, it would be 3D battles. But it wasn't. It wasn't
It
simultaneous.
wasn't
the way
basically
this-
like two styles of the
Yes.
game running at the same
right.
time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
This is different than that.
Okay.
How do you guys feel about this?
Awesome
Oh,
idea.
dude. The moment that I saw this happening, because I mean, obviously they're speaking in Japanese, and I'm not very fluent, or at all whatsoever. So I don't really know what's going on until I get a visual. As soon as I saw this image right here, I immediately thought, like, wow, okay, they're taking every single step of Dragon Quest seriously, because this is a numbered release, and this is definitely a different game, even if the story is the same. But just look at the love that they obviously have for every single iteration they put out,
Yeah.
right?
And even on this sort of off-screen, not direct feed footage of this game, right? Obviously compressed
Yeah.
as well. This is an excellent-looking 3D
Yeah.
yes game.
Yeah,
if you
this
just look
looks
at the
so
top
good.
screen,
Looks
this is
crazy
very,
good.
very impressive. So I wonder, with how good the top screen is, and both the top and the bottom running simultaneously,
Mm-hmm.
if this is going to be new 3DS only.
I was wondering that too.
Because, obviously Dragon Quest is a huge deal in Japan. This would help
Sell
sales of the new 3DS.
So we don't need to pull this up, but earlier in the show last night, they showed off some 3DS footage of Dragon Quest X. And on the touchscreen, they had button prompts. So they were like they showed it on a normal 3D, not a new 3DS, I guess you could say.
Right.
And the extra button prompts that would be on the new 3DS were on the touchscreen. You don't really have that here, right? Like I don't see anywhere in the interface where you would actually be able to compensate for missing those buttons. So either you don't need them and it's on both consoles. And I'm not sure if somebody's asked that question to them and whether it's been answered at this point right now, but
I would
maybe
think you
Chad
would
can help
need
us with
them
that.
on a Dragon Quest game.
Yeah.
At the same
I
time,
mean, menu-based combat, you know.
it's also a very, I don't want to say simple, but you're still dealing with 2D environments here, right? So like we're not dealing with necessarily jump buttons. We're not dealing with more complicated
The name-
gameplay that you're getting
The
from.
character's just named 11. That's hilarious.
Nice.
Ben, talk to me about the stagnant characters real quick.
Yeah, so it's something that bothers me but does not bother other people. And you know, they are running two versions of the game simultaneously, so perhaps that explains it. But as you can see, the enemy sprites don't animate.
I'm
It's
okay
old
with it.
school, yeah.
I'm okay with
It
it.
is old school. That is the way Dragon Quest games used to be. But I like the animations, you know? I think this is something that maybe I would, as much as possible, use the 3D battles. Because
I would use the 3D
you know,
battles.
I would not. I would stay with. Look at this though. This is one of the greatest things. A long time ago, when we were just getting started with our live streams, Kyle and I played Dragon Warrior on the NES, and he pointed out one of the things that I absolutely loved and I never realized about the early Dragon Quest games is that look at the bottom screen, you're on a map. When you have an encounter, it pops up in a little window. There's no load times. There's no riff-raff. There's just straight into the battle, attack, finish, a little bit of text, and you're done, and you're back in the game. And so it's basically like it's not like you're like coming away from the map. You just have a little pop-up for the battle.
I love that the story scenes aren't just relegated to 3D as well. Like
Yeah.
you can
See
see
them,
yeah.
little slimes
Yeah.
from the boy on the bottom screen as well.
Also really well animated.
Yep.
Absolutely.
So there's your animations right there.
I
You
mean,
got a 3D battle going on.
You know, we obviously have differing opinions on on what we would prefer for the battle, but it's serving both of us
I know.
equally, and that's incredible.
Everybody wins.
It's like what I wanted Sonic Generations to be in a way. But anyway, another thing that is interesting, if you notice, on the top screen in the 3D world, there was not random battles. It was like Dragon Quest IX and Dragon Quest X, where you would see the enemy and you'd
yeah.
have to touch them to engage. On the bottom screen, that didn't exist, so it seems like it's random battles on the bottom screen. So that's cool as
Yeah.
well that they're going even that far to do it. The thing that I want the most is obviously music is a hallmark of Dragon
Yeah,
Quest
absolutely.
games,
Yeah.
and both the orchestral stuff and the MIDI stuff
Yeah.
of the old games sounds incredible. I want to be able to, like Halo Master Chief Collection style, be able to switch at any
just
time,
toggle
even
it.
in the middle of the song.
That is
Yeah.
cool.
That would be
I
really cool.
like that.
Yeah, I'm not saying that's in the game. It's just something
It's a good idea.
that
Yeah.
I would
Hire
like
this man.
to see. Unfortunately, that's kind of all we know about Dragon Quest XI. We don't have any story details. They did not show combat on the PS4, so we can't comment on that. Presumably, it's going to be, I say presumably a lot, it's going to be classic Dragon Quest style, because something that we were talking about, it seems like they're trying to make this game to please traditional fans and
Yeah.
make a really core game. And they have a bunch of other games that they talked about last night during the stream that are sort of crazier ideas and experiments.
Yeah, isn't this insane? We have two fully fledged Dragon Quest games coming out, but they had a whole bunch of other stuff that they talked about. Like, to me, and you know, we'll get to that stuff like right now, but this presentation was on a Fallout scale for me.
Absolutely.
Like they just went thing after thing after thing, and while they didn't really start with the biggest first, that's okay. It's a little bit more traditional. They just kept nailing it, and they kept kind of finding ways to make people interested in all of the different stuff that they're offering.
Now the question is, we did not get Dragon Quest X in North America
Correct.
in any
Right.
capacity on any platform. Obviously, that's an MMO, so it's a little bit different. It requires more infrastructure and more upkeep and maintenance and all that sort of stuff. What do you think? It's a guarantee that we will get Dragon Quest XI in the West?
No.
No. Okay.
Yes.
I think we'll
Kyle
get the,
says yes.
I believe we'll get the PS4
Yeah,
guarantee.
I think we'll get it.
I'd love to be optimistic, and I would say there's a lot of signs pointing to them actually like recognizing that there's a ton of these platforms in America and in Europe. I don't think Europe has it. It's just Japan, right? 10.
Oh,
Oh, 10?
Currently.
Yes. Yes.
Yes, that Europe does not have.
Does
it.
not
Yes,
have
it's just Japan. Yes,
Correct.
I'm sorry.
So I mean,
that was unclear.
there's a ton of market out there that they could be selling to, and clearly they're
Mm-hmm.
clearly it's part of their aim to put a Dragon Quest XI game out both on PS4 and on 3DS, and then of course eventually NX. Like they're going for all of the platforms that they know are out there,
Right.
and then they're also trying to adopt a new platform, a new and exciting one. So why not put it in more places around the world?
Now I'm just asking questions. Do you think we'll get it on all platforms? Do you think we'll get the 3DS version and the NX version?
I don't think we'll get the 3DS version.
Why?
We haven't gotten any like DS Dragon Quest games at all.
That
or 3DS.
well, no. I mean, there
No.
was a long time where we got every DS Dragon Quest game.
But now it's like we haven't gotten any in a while, haven't we?
No, I mean, so
don't
we didn't
know
get
about
Dragon
8.
Quest. We didn't get the Dragon Quest 7 remake, and we didn't get the Dragon Quest 8 remake, which leads into my
Well-
next question.
Well,
Because we didn't
8's
get
not out
those.
yet, so
Right.
Wait, it's not confirmed for here yet
Right.
either.
Yeah, so I guess that's a better way to say it. There has been no word on those games coming over here.
But the thing about it, though, you have to look at it from Square's perspective for a second. They've actually put out every Dragon Quest game 1 through 8 on mobile, and I know it's mobile. I know.
That's not true. 6 and 7 are not on mobile.
6 is.
Is 6? Oh, they
6
just.
is.
I'm sorry, you're right. They just released 6 on mobile.
Yes.
Recently. 7 is not on mobile.
Right. Okay. But we have 8, and 8 was one
Yeah.
of the first ones to come out actually on mobile. And
But it's terrible.
I'm not saying it's good, but I'm saying that they've done the work to localize it. They've done the work to revamp some of their classic titles, and so they clearly have the initiative to release it in more places than just Japan.
And my impression is those mobile versions of the Dragon Quest games, especially Dragon Quest 1 and Dragon Quest 8, sold above expectations.
Yes.
Which is part of the reason I think you saw a bunch of other ones come out. So they also recently announced that Dragon Quest Heroes is coming over to the West this fall. So
Very
I
cool.
think there are some encouraging signs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can hope so. Square Enix seems to be a different company than they were a couple years ago, and they're starting to make all the right kind of moves or things we've been asking.
This
for
has been a
long
very
time.
good year for Square's announcements so far. I can
Yeah.
definitely
Yeah.
agree with that.
Another thing that I was thinking about, somebody posted on NeoGAF, all of the JRPGs that are coming to the PS4, and it's not a small list. We have a
Right.
bunch of stuff. So we have Dragon Quest 11, Dragon Quest X, Final Fantasy 15, Nier, Star Ocean 5. There's Kingdom Hearts 3. There's so much stuff, and I feel like what's that?
Persona 5.
Persona
How-
5.
how'd you leave that one
obviously.
out?
Right, that's in its own category.
Yeah.
Right? It's sort of a separate godlike entity, but I feel like
I should do this now.
the entirety of Last Generation, I and a bunch of other people were sort of like apologists, like, no, we want more JRPGs. And we were sort of relegated to handheld platforms, and I really like JRPGs on
Sure.
handhelds, unlike some other people, Michael Huber. But this is exciting. This is an incredibly exciting time. We're getting new installments in these classic franchises that just look outstanding. I mean, if you ask me, what does your dream Dragon Quest game look like? It's this.
Yeah.
Look
This
at
is
this
it.
atmosphere.
Did
Like, you just want to be in this world.
I want to ask all of you guys, Blood included. What did you expect to see? If let's say we knew that Dragon Quest XI was going to be shown off, like, did you have any idea what it would look like at all? Did you have any picture?
I
in
mean,
your
I was
mind?
just hesitant, because I really enjoyed 9, but it was a little bit of a weird departure, and then 10 was like a huge departure during the MMO. So
Sure.
I kind of had my reservations as to what this could be, but I'm glad that it is what it is, and
Yeah.
definitely very interested to see more of it, see more of the characters, actually get a look at this combat system, and and the weird thing is, like, there's a guy in there right now who I don't know how serious he is, or if he's just trolling, but he's trying to understand, like, what the big deal is about Dragon Quest, and it's a hard thing to encapsulate, because on paper it doesn't sound like anything special. It's like, it's the template for JRPGs. It's like what everyone else kind of copied to get their start.
Yep.
And yet it keeps things very pure and basic, and just makes a gigantic world and story around them. But somehow they do it so right that just works. Like, the stuff that other games might make feel stale still feels just very fresh and very enjoyable in a Dragon Quest game.
Yeah, that's actually a really interesting point, Blood, because I saw people that weren't Dragon Quest fans talking on NeoGAF, and they were saying, I don't like Dragon Quest. There's grinding. I don't like the slow menu-based combat. And something that frustrated me with Final Fantasy for a while is I felt like it was trying to be all things to all people.
Yeah.
Casting that wide net, that broader audience talk, and I really like that it seems as though Dragon Quest XI is sticking to its guns. I don't think that's the right approach. It's okay if you don't like Dragon Quest. Maybe
Sure.
it's not for you. Maybe it's too slow. Maybe for whatever reason you just don't like it.
Yeah.
There's enough of an audience, I believe, that likes this style of game and can make it successful.
Those are two things. The first thing that Blood said was that Dragon Warrior is what this was called way back in the beginning.
Well,
It happened
In the U.S.
in the U.S. But
You're never going to let that go.
no, I'm not. But it came out before Final Fantasy. It was actually a predecessor.
Uh-huh.
And some people don't even know that the franchise exists, which is kind of funny to me because Final Fantasy has blown up in popularity, but also like every installment has so much scrutiny. I don't feel like every installment of Dragon Quest has had that much scrutiny. 9, sure, and 10 because of the obvious reasons like Blood mentioned, but
I mean,
it's almost always excitement.
if you look at Dragon Quest 1 through 7, right, I think part of the reason it didn't blow up in popularity is they were always super behind in tech. You look at Final
Sure.
Fantasy 7, which came out before Dragon Quest 7 on PS1. Final Fantasy 7 was seen as sort of this tech revolution, right? The CG cutscenes, the seamlessness, the huge world,
Dragon Warrior!
the 3D polygons. Dragon Quest 7 looked like a Super Nintendo game.
Yeah.
And I like that.
Yeah,
sure.
But that's maybe an obvious reason why
Sure.
it didn't,
Yeah,
didn't blow
well,
up in the
actually, I
same way.
mean, yeah, I think that's just kind of when they made those generational leaps, they didn't really focus on that. And this time, it seems like that we are
Look at
going
the
to make
Dragon
this look
Warrior.
as good as we want it to look.
Yeah.
Because it's funny though, because if you actually look back at Final Fantasy 4 versus Dragon Quest 4, like Dragon Quest 4 came out later, but it came out on the NES.
Yep.
Because there were still more NES NES systems out there at the time. And in some ways, you could make the argument that it was as good or better than Final Fantasy 4.
Yeah. Another thing
That's an interesting debate that I'm not sure which side I fall on.
one of the things I think that kind of it probably hurt Dragon Quest in the States, but helped probably in Japan is that you had Final Fantasy going off into other realms that they left fantasy behind, and they went like science fiction almost in almost
Experimenting,
all
yeah.
of their
Well,
games.
they've always had that blurred line in Final
Sure.
Fantasy.
Well, and then
From
it
the
stopped.
start.
It stopped being blurred after a while, and pretty much stayed science fiction for the most part.
But
I mean, like traditional fantasy, I suppose, is
Yeah.
what I'm getting at. Dragon Quest has never left it. It's always been just very
But-
hard rooted in
but it's-
fantasy realm.
since Dragon Quest 1, Dragon Warrior, it's really hauled that out its own incredible identity. Like,
Yeah.
it still tickles me to this day that there's an enemy in Dragon Quest called Cruel Cumber. And it's just an anthropomorphic cucumber with a spear that has like a flappy tongue.
Yeah, the guy in the blonde wig is a little funny looking. But
Yeah.
Yeah, they're all pretty funny
yeah.
looking.
No,
says the guy in a slime hat.
A point I really wanted to address that you and I were talking about, Blood, before we got to the stream, is I was like, wouldn't it be cool if the 3DS version of Dragon Quest XI and the PS4 NX version of Dragon Quest XI had like an Oracle of Ages, Oracle of Seasons system where you got rewarded for playing both, and there were exclusive things that you could get if you only played both. And you said, rightfully so, Ben, I don't know, I love Dragon Quest, and I don't know if I could handle two of them at a time. These
I would
these
pay up
130-hour games.
immediately.
one thing too, I mean, and it won't happen because they're different platform holders, but it'd be awesome if they had some kind of cross save. But it's not going to happen.
Oh yeah,
That would be
I wouldn't want it
crazy.
to. I want to play it twice.
Cross-save.
I would
Oh,
want
it's
to
such a
play
good
it
idea.
twice. It'd be crazy to try to think like how
I mean,
much work that would take.
just different platform holders having the different version. I don't think that would work.
Are any of you guys
Oh my
surprised
God.
this is not coming to PS3?
No.
I am happy. I am happy that it's not.
I think PS3, even in Japan, is kind of on its last legs by the time this comes out.
Yeah.
It's
But the
not gonna be
PS4 is
anything.
not doing that well. It's growing, but
Yeah,
it's,
but
There's
that's
no game
that's just
really
console.
yeah, it's basically just waiting for
Yeah.
Dragon Quest.
Consoles in Japan have now been doing so hot. Period. So
Sorry, real quick, what I just realized in the footage is that I'm really happy about the fact that when they rotate the camera for the top, the bottom doesn't rotate.
Yeah,
You stay fixed.
yeah.
They could have changed that. They could have made it sync up. but they decided not
That would have
to.
been too confusing though.
Do you think
I'm glad though.
If-
I'm very glad for that.
Let's
Because
say
9 had a rotating
you're
map.
just focusing on one screen? Do you think it will be distracting to you at all that you have other stuff
I
moving?
was kind of worried about that. I don't know. That's kind of the thing I have to play with and see after over an amount of time.
I wonder if it would make sense to have an option to like turn that into a map.
I
or
think
something.
options are always good to have.
Yeah.
Even if you don't want it, I still think it's a good idea to
Right.
do that.
Also, no UI.
agree.
Have we mentioned that? We don't see any
None.
UI here.
Yeah.
I mean, what do you need, man?
Yeah, there's never really been much of anything, has there? I mean, when you stop,
Press A to talk. You know.
right, and then when you stop and you bring up your menu, that's when you see your health and MP and
Yeah.
inventory and things like
Actually, it
that.
was something I was trying to figure out how to turn off on The Witcher, and I couldn't. It's like the talk button over people's heads. They got rid of the labels. That like you have an option now where you can get rid of the labels of like this is a mouse. Like I don't need to know that. But
Sazanami Style wants to point out that if you do the D-pad, you get 8-way movement, but if you do the slide pad, you can get diagonal movement. Isn't that 8-way?
diagonal would be 8-way.
But he mentions that's the first time for a 2D Dragon Quest, which is mostly true.
That's a really good point.
That's mostly true if you. Oh wait, no wait. I think the only way you can do that on mobile is actually Dragon Quest VIII. So I think he's right on the money. Although that's technically still 2D, sort of maybe ish. Not really, actually. I think he's just right.
This is a dumb thing to say, but there are few things that can ignite nostalgia within me, like a sprite idling on a world map and just moving his hands and feet. Like that
Yeah.
speaks to
Speaks
me
to
on
you.
a
I
very
know.
deep
Reminds me
level.
of the good old days.
Yeah. Also, is there a game series with better sound effects than Dragon
Nope.
Quest?
Nope.
I'm gonna
Nope.
say no. There are some that come close. I think
Star
Sonic
Fox?
the Hedgehog is actually pretty close.
Sonic, Star Fox. I'd say Star Fox.
Star Fox, yeah, Star Fox is great.
Mario is
obviously.
super iconic, but I wouldn't like. Is it bad that I would say that they're not as good? They're just super iconic because they've been around for so long, and it's always like, I know what that noise is. I'm picking up a coin. I got a 1-up.
I love those sound effects.
I love the sound effects,
Love
but
'em.
Dragon Quest is just so good.
yeah, I agree.
I wish that like the original noise it made and the battle music from Dragon Quest 1/Dragon Warrior, which they played a little bit of at some point in their presentation, is like it's so nostalgic for me because of course it's 20 some odd years ago. But they're still the best to me. They're still the best.
Brad, I keep thinking, I hope they do a special event in Final Fantasy 14. When we get
Oh
close
my
to
god,
release.
yes.
How cool would that
Give
be?
me those slimy rings,
yeah.
dude.
Yeah. Give me the King Slime crown.
Give me,
please.
like,
I will,
the hero's
I will wear it
outfit.
forever.
Oh, man.
That'll be how they do it. They just tuck all of Dragon Quest X into Final
What
Fantasy
if-
14.
Stick with me, man. If
Okay.
they did a Dragon Quest themed dungeon.
And you're fighting slimes!
Yes!
Yeah.
Oh.
That'd be cool. And like there were metal slimes
Oh
that
my
if you
gosh,
found
yeah.
them, you would have a chance for a rare drop. I would lose my mind. Guys,
But we digress.
unless there's anything of super importance that you want to say, I think that kind of wraps up our Dragon Quest
We
conversation.
didn't. I mean, we'll have to do some. Obviously, we'll do some more talking because there's so much stuff they announced that we haven't talked about. Dragon Quest Builder, probably
Yeah.
chief among them. And then they did a browser game. I forget the actual title of it.
I forget the title of it.
Had to
too.
be translated. It's interesting, but of course, when you say the words browser game, most people stop listening.
It was kind of one of those things where, as I was watching the stream, I was like, "Yeah, this looks good. Yeah, this looks really good." And then Dragon Quest XI happened, and I kind of forgot about
Exactly.
everything else,
Yeah.
unfortunately.
There's a new Joker game. There's a new Monsters game. So there's a lot to cover, and obviously we don't have the time to do all that right now. But of course, the focus is Dragon Quest XI, both of its iterations. And
I just want to say one thing.
Kyle wants to say something.
I'm amazed that neither of these games were debuted with trailers. They were debuted with gameplay.
Excellent point.
Yep.
Yuji
Yeah.
Horii holding the controller.
Yeah.
That is
Gameplay,
crazy.
yeah.
In a Courtney Love shirt.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
I think that is crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Absolutely. Props for that.
Yeah.
Guys, like day zero for me with Dragon Quest XI,
Yeah.
collector's edition. If it comes,
How
with,
much?
Hope it
I'll
comes
pay
with like
whatever
a
you're
slime
charging, I'm
pillow,
buying.
whatever. Yeah, whatever you're charging, I'm buying.
Yep.
But that's gonna do it for us. Hopefully, we can do more streams like this, preferably with JRPGs. But we'll see how it goes. What we're excited about when this
Man,
happens.
this is the age.
This is the age of the JRPG.
They're coming back. It feels like the SNES area and the PS1, PS2.
This is the time we were born for.
After that last gen, we really.
This is the time we were born
really
in.
Our lives have been building up to this point.
Yeah.
I think. Yeah. Well, this was a great conversation. Thank you so much, Kyle. I wish thank you for manning the chat and queuing up the trailers.
Killing
You,
it.
you did
Kyle,
amazing.
you've done
I
an
wish you could have
excellent
been
job.
part of the conversation a little bit more, but maybe next time.
When we figure out our second camera situation, we're going to get Kyle in these. We're going to get whoever's directing in these. But yes, thank you guys very much for watching.
yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
Bye.